here.
Okay, sorry about the delay, but we got a very interesting crew tonight, and it's very important, especially what's going on in the country. So tell us about a little bit about you and what's going on.
Okay, as you introduced me, I'm an author and paper historian. I've been doing this for about 6 years. Prior to that, for about 30, 35 years, I was in computers, in IT, networking. I used to work for IBM. And since then, as a consultant, worked for all of the major networking companies, Cisco's, Freecoms, Attachmate. And then, as I was kind of winding down my IT work, started to get interested in popes, did some research about papal names, which hadn't been done before. And the advantage that I have, or the only thing that I have coming into papal history, is my background in computers. So what I did was to marry technology with papal history, and that has allowed me to explore all sorts of things that had not been done before. So I wrote a book it was 2008 about papal names. That was well received. And given that there is a tradition, it's not a law, it's not a requirement. Pope does not have to change his name, but there is a tradition that popes take on a papal name, a regnal name, when they are elected. So given that, once this book came out, I kept on getting all these questions about, what will be the name of the next pope, what criteria will be used, and questions along those lines. And that got me looking and thinking about the next pope. And this was in 2008, and I started doing some research, and that led to more work. And in 2010, I published my first book called on that subject called The Next Pope. And since then, I updated that in 2011. And I have a fairly active blog, which has like 200,000 hits since February 11th, when the Pope announced that he was going to be resigning. So it has been an interesting period. I've been following what's happening in Rome on hourly basis and trying to keep people informed. And you asked me to come on the show and share some of my thoughts.
What is the expertise on what you think is going to happen in the next couple of weeks?
Next couple of weeks, okay. The latest thing that I've been hearing, you probably heard it too, that the cardinals are talking about delaying the conclave. Yes, they can delay, but they can't delay beyond 20 days. So it was kind of ironic. There was this big push before the Pope resigned on the 28th to change the constitution. There is a constitution that governs this period called the Vacante Vacant Seat, to allow the conclave to be held prior to 15 days. So if we just go back to, say, January, the rules in January were that the conclave had to be held 15 to 20 days after the seat becomes vacant. On the 28th, or actually it was about 2 days prior to that, they changed those rules to say it can be held before 15 days, but it can't be held, it has to be held before 20 days. So there is a push. So when you talk about the next few weeks, we will have a conclave. The conclave has to start by March 20th.